Right, body positivity. Let's talk about it for a bit. Just as the entertainment industry, social media influencers, and even the fashion world have been doing over the last few years. It's a positive new movement that tries to help people with bad body image issues up their self esteem, as opposed to, fat shaming them, which oftentimes lead to even more self deprecation driven unhealthy habits. And Lord knows, Indonesia needs to start normalizing this because fat shaming is basically almost a national pastime at this point. Pretty sure you've had a relative or family friend say that you look happy after not seeing you for a long time. Well, they really trying to say that, you gained weight or something like that. Which brings us to the film that we're about to discuss today, Imperfect. Directed by Ernest Prakasa, this film is a big old bowl of imperfections. Anyways, before we start, let me get this out of the way. This is all just my opinion, of course. If you like the film for whatever reason, then good for you. In fact, I can see elements in the film that made it so accessible and cherished by much of its audience. The message of the film is, well, body positivity, which resounds very well in Indonesia, especially among the female folk. Not saying that males can't like the film either, but females tend to get a lot of smack regarding their appearances here. And with the film's overall lighthearted tone, I can definitely see why this kind of film with its messaging can certainly look as tempting as the herbal diet supplements your MLM friend tries to sell you all the time. So the film has a good overall message, right? Was there to dislike from it? Well, how about everything else? The film starts off with our main girl character, Rara, a little tan skinned endomorph girl who gets a lot of from her mom for being, well, an endomorph. Her father is so wholesome though. Look at him, always sticking up for her and everything. But of course, this film is entitled Wholesome Dad Boosts Daughter's Self Esteem. So he has to go. And go away he did, by the way, off an off screen accident. And this is where we get treated to this little slow mo Cinetron moment.
Hello? Kok bisa?
This whole death sequence honestly just feels like an impromptu setup for her.
Character development.
I mean, sure, we do see like a few seconds of Rara grieving for her dad. Uh, Aside from that, we just see her coping with her sadness by binge eating sweets because I guess her dad used to give her sweets. But aside from that, this whole death scene didn't feel as sad as how it probably should have been. And then we get a time skip to Rara now as a young adult. Her mom is still pretty much a to her, but we do see that she gets on really well with her Instagram influencer sister, who has grown up very, very gracefully, and that she also has a nice boyfriend who really cares about her. Then we get treated to this scene where Rara goes to the bathroom and looks at herself in the mirror, and surprise, surprise, she doesn't like what she sees. Well, I wouldn't like to see what I'm seeing either when my body suddenly turns into another person's body. Anyways, we have to go back to telegraphing the audience that Rara is a likable main protagonist. So she goes and teaches voluntarily a bunch of disadvantaged children in a makeshift school. And unfortunately, these disadvantaged children, which could have served as some sort of profound socioeconomic commentary, just become the butt of some pretty bad jokes. Then we get shown how much of a toxic environment her workplace is. She's got colleagues that constantly pick on her for being on the heavier side, and later on, she even gets snubbed for a promotion that I guess she was supposed to deserve. Instead, they decided to gift that promotion to one of her colleagues. Wait. Here's my issue. Why does she deserve that promotion though? We barely see her at work up until this point. I mean, we're more telegraphed about how much of a kind, fun, and down to earth girl she is up to this point. But I guess whatever, the script needs a conflict, right? Because her not getting the promotion is now a main conflict of the film. And how do we know that? because the film decided to give us not one, but scenes where she explicitly details how bummed she is about her promotion snub to three different people.
We get it, film. We get it.
Now, this is around the time when I also should talk about her relationships in this film. You see, Rara has a very wholesome relationship with her boyfriend and a playful, cutesy one with her sister. And of course, there's this quirky best friend who she gets along well with, and they're always kind of treated as this sort of outcasts in their office environment. But her relationship with her mom is toxic, to say the least. Seriously, this mother character is just so unlikable. Not only does she constantly fat shame her daughter, who is already obviously suffering self esteem issues, but she outs her in front of her friends. I mean, seriously, what kind of parent does this? Oh, wait, Indonesian parents, I guess. I forgot. The film also decides to introduce a whole bunch of unnecessary side characters that feel like they don't really add much to the story or the overall plot narrative. But oh, wait, hang on. These side characters are girls that have self esteem issues because they have physical features that are deemed
Ugly.
I guess. So after a whole bunch of totally comedic and necessary scenes, the film goes back on track and Rara now has another shot at the promotion that she wanted earlier for some reason. However, this promotion entails her having to be conventionally
Pretty.
so, anyways, this results in her going through a little montage where she starts dieting and exercising a whole lot to shed weight, of course, accompanied by overly sweet, twangy pop music. Oh, and of course, she also suddenly has lighter skin because Indonesians also suffer from the other bad thing.
Colorism.
But we're not gonna talk about that now. She then emerges like a butterfly to become the bombshell of a girl that you see right now, to the point where even her colleagues from earlier are impressed by her. Well, here's the thing though. This girl was never really ugly to begin with, let's face it. I mean, yeah, sure, she was a bit on the heavy side, but by any standards at all, she wasn't exactly like Quasimodo fugly or anything like that. But everyone in the film treated her as if she's some sort of Fallout 4 ghoul that warrants them having to be outright disgusted by her very presence. Wait, what's this film about again? Anyways, let's talk a bit about the other technical aspects of the film. Cinematographically speaking, this film is, I guess it's not too terrible. And I do say that it is quite better than most other previous works by Ernest Prakasa. Well done, Ernest Prakasa. You deserve a Nastar. But in terms of score, this film is just mostly forgettable. I guess maybe you can like some of the twangy pop music that pops up every so often, but I guess it's just not for me. I don't know. Aside from that, the film's coloring and lighting is just meh, because as okay as most of the film looks, there's still a bunch of scenes that just don't feel right. For example, take a look at this scene. This scene is supposed to be morning, but it looks like it was shot at 1 p.m. and did they even bother to darken it a little or, make the contrast a little lower, make it cold? I don't know. I'm not the director here. The production values are kind of okay, I guess, because it doesn't look like a cheap daytime drama that you would see in Indonesian television. You know what I'm talking about. But I can't say it's anything special either. Anyways, back to the film's plot. So after the power of montage and pop music and she gets her promotion, we suddenly start seeing Rara uncharacteristically becoming cold and more distant to the people she cared about previously. People like her boyfriend and her quirky best friend. Oh my god, what happened? Seriously, what happened? The only transformation we did see from Rara is one that is physical. We don't really get to see her becoming more self-absorbed over time. No, it was just suddenly she cared too much about her job and suddenly she wants to impress her colleagues more. I guess it's supposed to be implied that she became like this because of the she started hanging out with more often. But that wasn't shown too much. I mean, seriously, we only get like what, two scenes of them really hanging out properly like friends? And it doesn't make sense that she's so eager to be their friend either. They treated her like before. Why would she want to go back to impressing them? I mean, seriously, she's the manager now. She's like above them.
What?
I mean, okay, I get it. Sometimes we get into positions in our life where we have to change the way we are, where we have to change who we usually hang with. But this is just way too abrupt. The film didn't give ample screen time to develop on this. Maybe all that screen time that they used for all those could have been used to develop this side of her instead. But no, what happens is in the film, she becomes pretty, she becomes a manager, and suddenly she wants to hang out with the annoying and she stops caring about the things that she used to care about.
What the hell, Phil?
In the, I guess, climax of the film, Rara misses her birthday party that her wholesome boyfriend decided to throw for her with the disadvantaged children that she has been teaching. Instead, she went out to grab a whole bunch of wine with her new friends. Perfect. And obviously, because she was late, she didn't show up. Her boyfriend was mad at her, and it later on culminates to this whole scene where her boyfriend kind of looks like he was getting fresh with her Instagram sister, who was just there to try and comfort him because he was bummed about Rara not showing up for her birthday. Wait.
Like what?
Seriously, they had a fight, not just the boyfriend and Rara, but also Rara and her sister, and it all could have been prevented by just Lulu or the boyfriend telling Rara that they weren't getting fresh with each other.
Come on, Phil. It's not that hard.
This whole conflict is literally just a simple misunderstanding that could have been resolved in like 5 seconds if just one of them spoke up, but instead they decided to stand there and go,
This isn't what it looks like.
and as a result, now Rara is mad, and the boyfriend is mad at her as well for changing too much. But of course, Rara has to be an entitled millennial, so she makes it all about her. It's all
Me.
and this is the part where they split, but they're totally not gonna get back together by the end of the film. And then her boyfriend gets into this
Intense fight scene.
with a whole bunch of hooligans that were harassing one of the side characters.
Oh no.
And then we cut back to a scene of Rara once again binge eating chocolates because she's sad. And then her mom walks in, and this leads to the epic confrontation that we've all been waiting for. Rara is finally about to confront her abusive mom for God knows how many years of mistreatment. But then the film pulls this magic bunny out of the hat and justifies her mom's bad treatment of Rara as being because her mom had to lose a modeling career because she had to get a C-section to birth Lara?
What?
Okay, let's for a second entertain the notion that her mom was about to have a stellar Gigi Hadid modeling career in her life, but then the C-section happened. That doesn't make your years of abusing your own daughter okay. I mean, seriously, we had like one short scene where it was implied that the mom had a C-section. But it's a C-section. It's a C-section scar. What are you doing, film? I thought you were supposed to promote body positivity. Now you're telling us that having a C-section scar is a valid excuse for abusing your daughter for years because you could have maybe had Gigi Hadid's career in modeling? Excuse me? But what the? And again, I want to say this entire time, this mom character has just been nothing but unlikable. Seriously, fat shaming all the way and just constantly reminding her what she shouldn't eat, what she should be doing. It's not a healthy environment. She is not a good parent. And if you were to defend her, you should have at least have had some sort of more compelling defense than just
Oh, I could have had a career, but I had to give birth to you.
anyways, despite years of parental abuse, now they're all BFFs and they're all okay now. Because now it's the time for Rara to try and redeem herself with her quirky friend and, of course, her boyfriend. But, of course, when it comes to redeeming herself to her boyfriend, it has to be a little bit more special. So, her and the entire side character ensemble decide to get a car. Of course, the car has to be a Mini Cooper. Ernest Prakasa just loves Mini Coopers, doesn't he? Seriously, the man just loves his Mini Coopers. Anyways, they decide to all drive and surprise the boyfriend with a new camera because he broke the old camera from that battle scene earlier, and an entire setup for a full-on photo shoot. What is this photo shoot for?
Rara has ideas, alright, guys?
Oh, and I forgot to mention, this boyfriend character has a colleague for his work that's played by Ernest Prakasa. Seriously, Ernest Prakasa plays as a colleague to the boyfriend character. You know, just inserting himself there. He doesn't really add much to the plot or anything. He's just kind of there.
Someone wants to emulate Quentin Tarantino.
So then now we're approaching the very end of the film, the satisfying conclusion. Rara is about to unveil a whole new line of makeup that is supposed to accentuate women's natural beauties. And she does this by revealing the results of her photo shoot. Wait, what? Why are the photos all black and white? Excuse me? Wait, what? I thought this was a makeup thing. Shouldn't there be colors? Why is it in black and white? Am I just a stupid straight man and I don't understand makeup? But isn't there supposed to be colors? Like in the photograph? Because it's makeup, right? You're supposed to show the shades and the hues and the tints and the accents and the... whatever, I guess, film. Everyone's happy at the end of the day. They all start complimenting each other. These, less than ideal looking girls are now complimenting each other. What a cute, wholesome ending. And then later on, in a bit of like a epilogue scene, I suppose, we get to see Rara being confronted again by the mom's friends.
To which this time she totally responds to it like a queen.
And then we get a voiceover scene where Rara goes back to teaching the disadvantaged children that she abandoned earlier. And that's it. That's the end of the film. So as I've said before, this film is definitely filled with imperfections. And honestly, as good as the message is, the delivery could have definitely been way better, both narratively and technically. But at the end of the day, I do believe that this isn't exactly a god-awful stinking pile of dumpster fire. And trust me, I've seen a lot of Indonesian films that are under that category. And at the end of the day, this film does have a very wholesome message. And I have to also say the acting is okay, especially from Jessica Mila, who played as Rara. Props to her for losing and gaining weight that fast. I genuinely do hope that when she was doing all that weight loss and weight gain, she did it in a healthy way, because if not, then
That'll be morbidly ironic.
and as I've said earlier, from a technical point of view, this film is actually better than most of Ernest Prakasa's previous films. Actually, maybe all of his previous films. I don't really, whatever. And as a film that supposedly champions for body positivity, there are a few elements that are a little troubling. I mean, seriously, does Pretty Rara have to be whiter? That's a little colorist, but whatever, I guess. This is Indonesia, and colorism is also a national pastime. And I also feel like the Instagram sister character was horribly underdeveloped. I mean, we don't really know much about her character aside from the fact that she's a caring and shy, pretty Instagram model. And that's a shame because there's a lot of potential that could have been dug out from this, Instagram model character. I mean, she could have been shown as like this conflicted young lady who has some sort of qualms about how she has to always look perfect and pretty. But the only conflict she does have in the film is that she has this piece of Instagram celebgram wannabe boyfriend who doesn't really care about her. Okay, I guess. But I do understand the popularity of this film is definitely because of the message that it has, which resonates very well with young female audiences all over the nation. And if you like this film, as I've said before, good for you. Again, this is just my silly little opinion. And for those of you who haven't seen this film, I do recommend that you check it out instead of just judging the film's merits based on this video alone. The film is on Netflix and it's in fact still trending as of the release of this video. Trending in the Indonesian Netflix sphere. I don't know whether you can watch it if you're in another country, but anyways, yeah, there's my 2 cents on Imperfect. Until next time, DZ signing out.